Yo, this is McGarren. In summary, the positive shape is the object that you're wanting to draw or paint. The negative shape are all of the shapes that surround that object. So here I have an example of these chairs that are floating across a string or a rope. And they're really interesting because there's a lot of negative shapes that are found inside the shapes. Like, look at this part here. See, you can see the light value or the background coming through the chair. That is a negative shape. This also is a negative shape. And this part here is a negative shape. Now notice the leg, how it's overlapping the seat of the chair. That part is still a part of the chair, the seat and the leg, and they're overlapping, so therefore it's almost like I totally ignore it. I'm not even gonna draw it. I'm just gonna draw the shapes that are around it. So for this assignment, you're gonna have to draw a lot of negative shapes, and those are the shapes that are found between objects mostly, or around objects. But the difference between a contour line drawing and a negative shape drawing is a contour line drawing is focused on the contour of whatever your object is. So here for the example of this chair, if I were to draw the leg of the chair separate from the seat of the chair, that would be a contour line drawing. Negative shape drawing would just be drawing the shapes that are surrounding both the leg and the seat of the chair. So here, I'm gonna draw some of this out for you to kind of show you how I would process or go about drawing negative shape. So if I look at the chair from the previous example, I know that it comes around and curves kind of like that and comes down maybe at a higher angle like that. And it's smaller on this side like that, comes up and around the edge. So this is one negative shape. Then I'm going to look at where this line comes and hits for the next shape. And it's pretty narrow here onto the edge. And then the leg or the back portion of this chair still continues along this path, but I'm not drawing it through the path. I'm drawing the negative shape. And then it gets a little bit smaller as it goes back to that shape. And then I have this other part that starts about the same distance as that one here, and it curves down and back like that. This one curves around and hits that part of the leg. Now I'm also looking and seeing how wide is this versus how, well, I guess how long is this versus how wide, or how high is this versus how wide that is? There we go. And that seems to be relatively correct in my proportion. It looks like it needs to go just a little bit higher. So here is one negative shape, there's another negative shape, and there's a third one. I'm not drawing anything else here in the chair. I know the leg goes down, but I'm not going to draw it because it's a part of the positive shape. Now we have another shape that pops up here off to the edge. And it's pretty narrow on this end. And it starts to curve around there. And it continues on from this slope. Flattens a little bit at the top and then slopes down. And we have the edge, the outer edge of this part that comes down. And then the seat starts a little bit higher than this part. This edge also slopes down a little bit. and doesn't come in as strong. It's a little bit more curved. And this is the best part about negative shape drawing, is you can look at what is this negative shape versus these series of negative shapes. And I can tell this is getting too wide, so I need to shift it over a little bit more. So I'll come back in here so that the width of this positive shape, the leg, stays the same. I just need to change it in a little bit more. I come in with an eraser and I'd erase those so that I can make sure that all these shapes are correct. This also needs to curve just a little bit more. Same thing with this. And the outside of these guys need to curve just a little bit more. Notice I'm not drawing these shapes down hard. I'm guessing right now. I'm looking at the shape and I'm guessing. So until I know exactly what the shape is, I'm not going to draw them in dark. So this comes out about right there. Angles down, up, around, and then it slopes. Down like that. I'm going to look at where this leg would come. The other one is just a little bit to the right. So that's about right. And again, drawing the negative shape. Or this would be the contour of the whole leg. And then when this one ends, this one comes up. And it doesn't, this slope is a little bit off, so I think it looks more like that. This slope is almost parallel with that one, so I need to make it more leveled out like that. And if I were to draw a horizontal line from this shape to over here, that's where the next leg sits. Maybe just a little bit in more. All right, I know it looks really weird right now, but when I put in these other shapes, hopefully it'll start to look normal. And that's the nice thing about drawing, is if you make a mistake, just spend the time to fix it. So those are a couple of negative shapes that I see. There's another one that's over here. This looks like it needs to be down just a little bit more. And then comes up the leg. Same thing with this one. And then we have another one, just teeny. Okay, so now that I've drawn these shapes in, I'm seeing where I need to make corrections. This is definitely not curved enough. I thought it was, but it needs to bulge out a little bit more and then drop. Same thing with this edge. It needs to bulge out a little bit more and then drop. That's looking a lot better. All right, now I'm going to erase some of these shapes and redefine them a little bit more after I know that I have them all figured out. This one looks like it needs to come up just a little bit more. So, another really important thing. How do you know if you're drawing the negative shape versus a positive shape? And I will demonstrate how I know. Or how you could know if you're drawing a negative versus a positive shape. So if I were to draw a positive shape, I would draw it like this. This is the contour of the leg. And there's another angle change or slope change here for the leg. So that is going to be the positive shapes that I'm drawing. I'm not interested in this detail. I want to see shapes more accurately. And in order to do that, I'm going to draw the negative shape. And when you draw the negative shape, the more you draw it, the more easy it is for you to convincingly draw shapes. So here I'm just going to come back in, refine these shapes. All right, so that is the negative space of the chair, the negative shapes of the chair. Now to finish it off, if I wanted to draw the positive shapes, I could just bring this leg down, place in the bottom part of it, and then draw this part of the leg as it comes up. And then there are other parts that come in to support the leg here, and also to support the difference on the legs in the back. So do you see the difference between the positive shapes and the negative shapes that I'm drawing? Hopefully you do. If you don't, you just need to draw to get this all figured out. But anyways, I hope that helps. Draw those negative shapes. It really helps train your eye and see accurate shapes and proportions, which is the benefit of this assignment. So good luck with your drawing. Happy drawing. And remember, draw it lightly in first before you got all your shapes figured out, and then draw it in darker. Have a great day.